Everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Jimbo, your host, and today we're doing something a little bit different. So instead of doing a cheap versus expensive or product comparison, well, we are going to be doing a product comparison, but I'm going to be letting you in a little bit more on what I do, as well as detailing, and some of my job is starting to involve some product testing. So I want to let you in behind the scenes, not quite like a vlog. I just want to bring a different element into my channel. And so today we have a couple different products. These are coating maintenance products, and I'll kind of talk through them as we put it on the panel and do the torture test and all that. But I want to show you a little bit behind the scenes of product development, and product development is becoming a big part of what I do here in the studio and what I do for multiple brands, blenders, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, and I thought it's an interesting side of my work and an interesting side of detailing that I want to try to bring you guys in and showcase on my channel, because it's definitely a side of the industry that we don't get to see a lot. So in this video today, we're going to be comparing two different coating maintenance products. So these can go on top of traditional ceramic coatings, these DIY coatings. They can go on top of any coating anywhere. So what I want to test on this panel is what do they look like as standalones. So I don't have it underneath a coating, and the reason for that is to give feedback to the company, to the blender, to whatever. And so we're going to be testing cure times today. So we're going to be doing a short cure time today. After I strip it, I will be doing a longer cure time later if I'm able to strip it. And so I just want to take you guys in. It's going to be kind of a little bit different of a dynamic than I normally do, but I thought a lot of you would enjoy this behind the scenes of product development. I think it's an interesting thing that not a lot of other detailing YouTubers can do. I don't know if they have access to it, but if they do, they definitely haven't shown it yet. And so since I am fortunate enough to have that access, I want to bring you guys in on that. Of course, sans the names, the blender, where it's coming from, and what it will actually look like out in the wild. But I want to kind of give you guys a first glimpse at what that looks like, kind of the product development sampling process. So let's get into it. Welcome to the world of testing. Obviously bottles have been changed and there are no names to these products. They're not in the wild. Again, coating maintenance products. So we have B and A, or A and B, and so I wrote it on there. This is our control section, just like in the cheap versus expensive videos. Or the product comparison videos. So what we're going to be doing is applying them to the panel and seeing what they do, really. My estimation is that these products are a little different, but that's what I want to see, is how different are they. So we're going to take A, I'll shake it up, even though I don't think it needs to be shaken. This panel has been compounded, hit with super clean, and then that smells good. Okay, so the hit was super clean, and then I washed it with Adam's strip wash, and you'll see the panel is completely flat. So what are we doing here? A, and this is A. A smells good, goes on really smooth, very, very, very smooth. The only product that I felt that has been this smooth is actually the Meguiar's Gold class. And I'm going to do 2 instant layers to see what happens. So again, when I do this product testing, I'm actually the one testing, like, is it layerable? How does the second layer react? And you could see right there, the second layer on this one went on smoother. So I don't know if the camera's picking that up. I know the lighting sucks where it's at, but went on smooth, incredibly slick. Let me feel this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a couple hours to cure. I got to go do some meetings, but that is very slick. I mean, very slick. Okay, let me move this over to this side so we don't cross-contaminate. And let's check out B. Shake it up real good, and we'll see if there's any difference. I'm going to saturate the whole panel, and again, what we're going to see is if there any difference in the application. So there's that. Initially a little, not super tacky, but a little tacky, and then it kind of opens up right there. Becomes smooth. Whoa. Really slick as well. very similar. So I was told these products are a little different, and they want to see if I can see the differences. So, but initially, B was, it didn't take as much to wipe off. Seemed like it went on a little bit quicker. A had a little bit of it seemed like you almost needed to lay down a foundational layer first, and then the second application worked a little bit better. I wonder if this is the same. So not this one, the second layer is going on similar to the first layer, whereas on A it seemed like we're talking a very, very, very slight difference, but it seems like A needed some sort of foundational layer, and then the second layer worked better, meaning it's probably a little bit more layerable. B, on the other hand, seem to be the same with the first and second layer, but A is a lot slicker. So there's that. I'm gonna let them cure for a couple hours again. I'm testing cure time, so I wanna see, for this video purpose, it's gonna be a short cure time, and then I'm gonna apply A and B again, and then do a longer cure time in the form of like maybe 5 days, and then another one in the form of like 7 days. So you could see how this testing process gets a little extensive. I'll probably switch to another panel for those longer tests, but now the fun part begins. Let's put it through the torture test in a couple hours. So what I thought was going to be a short-term cure time turned into 24 hours. Oh man, and that's the name of that tune. I've been just running around like crazy, busy. Anyway, had a great podcast episode at McGuire's headquarters today. You can check it out on my podcast, Stitcher, whatever. So here we go. B and A and B, control section in the middle, 24-hour cure time. Let's see what these look like. So we have the sheeting in the middle, of course. That's the bare clear coat. That proves that I actually stripped the panel. And it looks like we're getting, the products look fairly similar. I want to say that the A is, it just seemed like it was doing something a little bit different. Like the beads were a little bit smaller, but still not bad. B is looking good. A, I guess if we're splitting hairs here, the, well, let me look at it from a different, let me change the water angle to see if that changes anything. I mean, maybe A's sheeting water a little bit more than B, but they're pretty dang close. There you go. Okay, so the beads, for what I'm seeing, B looks like the beads are a little bit bigger, and A is still beading water, and it looks like they're a little bit smaller. So again, differences is what I try to glean on. I'm actually going to go pick up the pet dryer. Let me just do that while I'm talking. I would hate for someone to think that this test is doctored in any way, or that I'm reapplying. So let me just do that while I do this. I'm gonna get the pet dryer out here, and then see what it's like. You could just fast forward through this, or shoot, maybe I'll even edit it out, but let me get the pet dryer hooked up so we can see how quickly, instead of just taking the towel dry, how quickly this will come off here. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, see here? Why is it? Why are we making that noise? Stop it. So both products getting water off the surface nice. Nothing to complain about there. Nice and easy way to do that. Now let's start hitting it with some let's start hitting it with some torture products to see how we do here. So the first up, of course, is going to be our iron remover, and man, this is just hanging on. Just cannot run out of this stuff, and I'm sorry, I try to link it below, but man, Eagle One did a bad job. And in fact, I just picked up another product from Eagle One. It's like their spray, I think it's spray as you dry wax. It has the same label, and it even boasts like same great formula, new label, and I'm like, man, why did you guys make all these labels look so similar? It's so hard to link up products and kind of get you guys different products. So interesting. I don't know why that side is reacting a little bit differently than the A. It'll be interesting to see what that translates to, but it seems like B is kind of fighting off the chemical a little bit more, I guess. But you see how there's like a big difference there? So let's see what if that translates into anything. Again, trying to pick up differences here. And that did translate to something. So you could still see how fast A sheeted water. So the iron remover killed it as far as the hydrophobic properties. So again, what is this telling us? First of all, A is still there because look at how much faster it's getting water off the panel. Even when you hit it like that, look at that rate of evaporation is still really high, but what that tells me is that B is more durable than A. So A is maybe some sort of like spray wax, quick detail spray, topper, whereas B may be like more of a foundational layer of a product, because you could see how good B is just hanging on there. While you could still get A to bead water, it's predominantly gone to sheeting water versus beading water. But again, it's still there because look at our control section. Our control section is very slowly, but I didn't wipe it with the wet towel. So sorry about that. You know when you're just running around like crazy and you like feel like you can't get control of what you're doing? Kind of how I feel. So sorry if I'm missing steps and all that. Let's get the residue off, and you can see with that wet towel wipe how it's just pushing the water off. It's gone to sheeting, which is good, but it's still there. Look at that middle control section, just doesn't really evaporate. And yeah, look at the rate that this is. We already saw that it was totally resistant to the iron remover on the left side. The right side not so much for the hydrophobic properties, but that's okay if those are the first to go. So B holding up just as well. Maybe A came back a little bit. Maybe a little, really hard to tell. Let's get this off with the blower. So B came off nice. Let's try A. See how nice it still comes off? I mean, having a little bit more trouble, but it's still not like our middle control section. You see the middle control section when I do that, how the water still is staying there, whereas both sides of the panel, the water is kind of scurrying off. That's what I'm looking at. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Want to get all the water off. And when that is the good thing about water beading that doesn't really get talked about, is when you want the water off the panel, you want water beading to get water off the panel. So water beading is good. I know I've been beating we're gonna go to super clean. I've been beating the dead horse about water sheeting, which is true. You do want less water on the panel. So sheeting is good. However, sheeting isn't the best when you're really driving. Sheeting is the best for when your car is stagnant, or just parked there rather. But beading helps for when you're driving the car. So, or the car has beads on it and you go to drive away, a car that beads water is going to get that water off a lot easier, or faster, I guess, as we saw just in this drying test, than, well, even sheeting. It's about the same, I guess, right? So, disregard whatever I just said, I guess. All right, super clean, let's see. Get all the residue off, and we know super clean leaves a really big film. I think that killed A. Let's get water on there. A is looking a little bit different right there. I think there's film on it, but you can see how it still even looks a little bit different. Vastly different than B, that's for sure. And even with the wet towel, you could see the water evaporating or whatever. It looks like, look at that right now. So A, look at that. You could almost see the residue of the super clean on the surface, and it's definitely doing something different than the control section, right? So it looks to me like something might still be there. Again, I'm still gonna, you can see the rate of evaporation on that isn't as quick as it once was, nor is it as quick as the B side. So I'm gonna venture to say, again, that's some sort of maybe a topper or a quick detail spray or something quick and easy, maybe even a waterless wash. You know, it reminds me of like a CERMAIC waterless wash, because it has a lot more durability than a quick detail spray. So that's why I'm kind of falling into that camp of, but B is still holding up really well. Yeah, A's taken quite a hit. It is sheeting faster than our control section, but you can see what a hit it has taken. But B, we have A is a winner if it's gonna fall into the, so this is where the feedback comes in. A is gonna be a winner. It's still sheeting faster than our control section, so maybe holding on a little tiny bit, very, very, very hard to tell. But it did good while it lasted. Super clean is pretty aggressive, but you can see how B's holding up to the super clean, which is very cool to see. So that's a very strong product. And so, even look at that, with the water, right off. No big deal. Let's check A. See where it's struggling a little bit more. I mean, it's doing it, but it's struggling a little bit more. You can see what it really looks like in the center section. You can get it to dry, but see remnants of it. So it's maybe still there a tiny little bit, but the next element I want to introduce is new, and I think you may think it's pretty cool, very practical. So the next element is this. This is Extreme Blue windshield washer. So cleans, removes road grime and frost. I picked this up at my local auto parts store for like $4, and then I put it in a little snazzy bottle right here. So, and this is a windscreen cleaner, which when I talked to a couple chemists and got an idea of what is a windshield wiper cleaner, they said it's kind of like an IPA. So I have a feeling that this is going to completely erase A, and then it probably is going to hurt B pretty bad, if all things being considered. However, we'll see. Now this is a real world test. Most people use a windshield wiper fluid. Now I will say some people replace it with a waterless wash, which I tend to like more than a dedicated windshield wiper fluid, washer fluid. However, this is common, you know, when you get your car. So let's see if either one of those took a hit. Shoot, I was going to say something else about it. Oh, if it is an IPA, that's actually great news, right? It's more of an alcohol than anything, because then you could pick up a gallon of an IPA solution pre-coating for about $3 a gallon, $4 a gallon, pretty much anywhere. So that's what, and that is in fact the next test I'm going to do. I think that video is going to be out on Saturday. I'm going to be testing CarPro Eraser. Does it actually remove anything? So let's see. So that has, B is still sheeting a little bit. It almost looks like A, it brought back some of the water sheeting. It's actually sheeting at a much quicker rate. B is still beating water pretty dang good. I saw a little bit of sheeting in there, little bit of sheeting. The roundness of the beads have kind of left us, but again, our control section is where it was at. So with all things considered, B is still holding on. A is not doing bad at all. It kind of, maybe there was some residue, but the windshield wiper fluid, at least that one, doesn't really seem like it did much. I mean, look at how much faster. It maybe had changed the beads on B a little bit, but again, we're talking about, you know, it's gone through an iron remover, a super clean, and now that. Let's hit it with the airflow. So B's still doing super well. Sorry about that. Yeah, A's like, kind of interesting how A's just kind of holding on. Like didn't really do worse. Arguably did a little bit better after that. But the windshield wiper fluid really didn't do anything. You can see the center section kind of still doing its thing. So a little bit, again, a little bit, I don't know, interesting. This is where testing gets fun. So the last part of the test, I'm going to hit it with purple power. And if B doesn't break down to this, I'm gonna go over to my shelf. I wasn't expecting this either, but I'm gonna go over to my shelf and I'm going to grab whatever, I think I have Adam's Prep solution. In fact, I have a strip wash. That's what I'll do. I have Adam's strip wash. I'm gonna save the, I'm actually gonna save the, what am I gonna save? I'm gonna save the Adam's panel prep for the Car Pro Eraser video. I'll do that and that'll be out. So what I'm actually gonna be doing kind of an opposite test to see if these products are stripping the surface. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay down a product that I know to be very durable, very well. That's gonna be a Turtle Wax Seal and Shine. And then what I'm gonna test is, does something like Car Pro Eraser actually erase anything? Are you getting a true surface clean? Or do you need to do something like a power clean, super clean bath with a strip wash to make sure, and I'm talking pre-coating, pre-protection, is like a Car Pro Eraser enough? So let's see here. You know what's so funny to me is look at B, right? I'm calling that an incredibly solid product in the likes that we've only seen from the Turtle Wax Ice line, which it's not. That is not a Turtle Wax Ice product at all. But it's holding up to fit in that same family. And the reason, I had a suspicion that B was going to be a little bit better, so I put it on the dented side of the panel, because a lot of the comments are like, oh, the dented side of the panel, it's not fair, even though our cars have curvatures and stuff like that. But I wanted to put the product that I thought was going to hold up better on the worst side of the panel, so to give it, I don't know, make it work a little bit harder. So, because I knew that if people complain that's the worst side of the panel and I get a product that holds up, then what? Then there's nothing to complain about, because it has nothing to do with the panel and has everything to do with the product itself. So let's get this off and see where we're at. So point being, I'm going to do kind of the reverse of what my tests currently do, and I'm going to, look at that, B is still holding up. Now it's gone to sheeting, it's gone to completely sheeting water, but it's faster than A in our control section, obviously. So that is telling me, look at that, you could even get it to almost beat a little bit of water. Again, we're in uncharted territory, so this is a super good sample. I'm super, super excited. And what I'm gonna do So it made it through the whole way through the torture test. And I think we have to be careful. The important thing about these torture tests are not, can the product withstand it? I'm going to make these tests to the point where the product breaks. The thing is how far into the process does it break? So now what I'm gonna do is I have, because I need to get this panel prepped, and B is holding on. This is Adam's strip wash. So because now the question becomes, if the product is this good, so now we're in the neighborhood of Turtle Wax Seal and Shine, Ice Spray Wax, whatever. If the product is that good, how do you get it off? So that's where the thought for the CarPro Eraser, Americana Stripper, Adam's Panel Prep, kind of, I'm gonna go reverse of what I'm doing. I used to play basketball, so think of it as like, I'm gonna do a crossover and then start testing stripping agents to see what works. Sure, we know Power Clean will strip most stuff. B is holding up extremely well. We really haven't seen anything do this good before. And so what I need to start testing is stripping agents to see what works. How do you strip the panel? So there you go. B took a significant hit. It's still not to A's level. So it's still there protecting. So then this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go extreme because it's still kind of there. I feel like it's important that if A was doing this right now, I would say it's there because it's not matching our control section. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray Purple Power, which, I mean, B has taken a total beating. So B is there. What I'm even gonna do, this is kind of off the cuff, I'm gonna pull the tape lines to see if, because this panel was compounded and corrected, and then I did this to get it off. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna throw this away over here. And then so as I let the Purple Power dwell, then I'm gonna hit it again with the strip wash. And so this could be telling us two things, that the Adams strip wash doesn't actually strip, which I don't know, maybe we'll do a video on that. Or my product is just, not my product, sorry, the tester product is just that good, which they're both spray and wipe formulas, so interesting. So hopefully this comes off here, but let's see. See if we get a definite line or anything crazy. There we go. So that product is going to take a double strip wash to remove. See that? Now it's totally flat. Yeah, pretty much sheeting at the same rate. Obviously the dent down here isn't really fair. But so that product, after enduring all that, is gonna still need a double strip wash, which the good news is that it's not going to require a compound, but it's gonna take a double strip wash at least. Look at it, it's still even sheeting a little tiny bit, but it's gonna take at least a double strip wash to get that off the panel, which is interesting and could cause problems, I guess, but nonetheless, there you go. So what did you guys think about that process, that product? Do you like this type of video where I get to kind of let you in behind the scenes? I love seeing behind the scenes, so this video for me would be like amazing to see, and this is kind of as close as I get to a vlog, I guess. So, but let me know in the comments below what you thought about this style of video. If you would like to see more of these, do you prefer kind of when I go pick out retail products and do that kind of thing? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you will hit that subscribe button wherever I may put it up there. On your way down, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I will catch you guys on the next video. See ya.